I'm Plami, and in this episode of Radio Decay, I'm gonna be reacting to the recent comeback of UP10TION called Spin-Off. Now, UP10TION has been an interesting group for me. Uh, the first song of theirs that I ever heard, if I remember correctly, was the song Blue Rose. And that song really blew me away. You can check out my reaction even. I think I'm pretty confident I reacted to it, but it's been 2 years, so forgive me if I don't remember every song I reacted to. And I really like that song, but ever since then they haven't really managed to release anything quite as memorable and impactful. And the songs haven't been bad or anything like that, it's just that they haven't really impacted me as much as they did with Blue Rose. So hopefully maybe this one is going to be that kind of song, but I very much doubt it. But regardless, I just want to, before we get into it, I just want to give a huge thanks to my good friend Yuri, who is a big fan of UP10TION, and who might have been the person who requested me to react to them all those years, all that time ago, but yeah, I don't remember. I have terrible memory. But still, huge thanks to him. So without further ado, let's get into the reaction in 3, 2, 1. I also don't understand why their company is not adding the 2 most popular members back into the group now. That seems very stupid to me. Okay, so far this one is definitely on a better start. It's a little more interesting and catchier than most of their other songs. Why does this remind me of NCT for some reason? I think this reminds me of NCT's Superhuman. And I'm not saying that they're copying them or anything, it just reminds me of it. Because it's the same style or genre. But I actually genuinely like this. Yeah, this is the first song since Blue Rose that I'm actually kind of into. And that I think that it's actually very interesting. Like, it's actually not bland, you know? I think it's still probably not gonna beat Blue Rose for me, but the fact that it's better, I'm really happy about it. I'm really happy that I'm actually enjoying this. I wish there was a little bit more rapping in this song. That's probably one of my biggest complaints about this song. Because otherwise it's actually pretty good. Although in the third quarter of the song, I kinda ended up uh, how to say it, like I ended up blanking for a little bit because the song kind of lost my attention for some reason. So that part of the song was a little weaker, but overall I actually really like it, and it's probably my second favorite song of theirs after Blue Rose. Like, it has a gimmick to it that makes it kind of interesting, and they actually executed overall pretty well. The rapping I really enjoyed, but I think the thing that is holding it back for me is compared to Blue Rose is that I don't necessarily like the style that they're going for this song. Like, I do like that they're going for a style at least with this release because it allows me to enjoy the song more. But this kind of style, I'm not really super into. Like I said, this song reminds me of NCT's Superhuman, and that song is one of my least favorite NCT 127 title tracks, so yeah, I don't know. And at this point, I honestly think that Up10TION is probably never going to surpass Blue Rose, because Blue Rose for me, it's not only genuinely a good song, but to me it's kind of iconic and has a little bit of a special place in my heart, because it's it's the song that kind of set me on this course of really enjoying hard-hitting and very rap-heavy K-pop songs. It's the song that, I guess in a way, kind of opened my eyes that these are the kind of songs that I actually enjoy the most. So because of that, it has a special place in my heart. So I don't really think they're ever gonna surpass that, but at least with this one, they're actually kind of getting back to it or close to it. They're climbing up to where they were for me. And we're still gonna react to it a second time before I decide my final opinion about the song, but overall I'm actually pleasantly surprised that it's actually kind of engaging and interesting. It's still not necessarily what I would have liked it to be, but it's better, and that's a plus. So without further ado, let's get into it one more time in 3, 2, 1. Yeah, it definitely has that thing about it that makes it really catchy. Because I feel like some of their other songs, especially their last comeback, was kind of forgettable for me. Even if I didn't necessarily show that during my reaction, I ultimately don't even remember how the song sounded like at this point. But this one is actually pretty good. It has that catchiness to it that I feel like some of their music has been lacking. I think it's ultimately the problem that their company is just not giving them good songs. I like this guy's rapping a lot. Yeah, I wish there was more rapping. I love rapping so much, and especially the rappers of this group are actually surprisingly good and fun for how underused they are. As I said, that's probably my biggest complaint about this song. I feel like they should have been utilized more. I like this guy's rapping a lot. Man, the rapping is so good. God damn it. God damn it. Whatever their company is, Top Media. Why are you so underutilizing the rappers? I don't get it. I don't get it. The vocalists are also really great, especially that one guy who I feel like it's very prominent, and he has probably the most memorable face in this group outside of the one rapper guy. But damn, like every second of this song in which there is rapping, I'm in love with. The rest of the song, I like it more than their other releases, excluding Blue Rose, but the rapping is so damn good, and I wish they used it more. I don't know. But yeah, my opinion for this song didn't really change that much. I still overall like it, but I still can definitely see ways how it could have been changed. So I would like it more. Yeah, I don't know. As it stands, this song for me is about an 8.2 out of 10. It's an improvement, and I hope that leads to even better songs and maybe getting back to being as good as Blue Rose was, because I don't like the idea that that song was a fluke and it was just a one-time thing, because it's such a good song, and the group shows. I can definitely see the group and its ability to make songs as good as that one. They can make songs as good as that one, but for some reason their company is just giving them shitty songs, or at least songs that are not as good as Blue Rose. But yeah, I don't know. That's just how I feel about it. I enjoyed it, but I still wish it was better, because I just want another Blue Rose. That's all I want from this group, honestly. But yeah, before we end this video, I just want to quickly give huge thanks to my first ever patron, Omari Bridgman. If you want to join that person over on Patreon, you can do that by going over on Patreon. And there's actually a new tier specifically created for you guys, the fans of my K-pop reactions. So go over there and check it out. And if you like what you see on the tier, you can feel free to pledge your support over there. But before we end this video, I just want to quickly explain to you something that you might be wondering about, like, why am I dressed the way I am? Why do I look the way I do? And if you've been subscribed to my channel for a long time, you would know the answer already, because back when I started my YouTube channel, I had super long hair and I was dressing femininely in every single video. But for those of you who don't know, which I assume it's most of you, I'm actually transgender. I think I'm more of a non-binary rather than a male to female, because there are quite a few times where I don't really feel like dressing femininely and looking feminine and looking like a girl, and I just want to look like a normal guy. But I feel like in a lot of the time I do want to look feminine. So for the sake of simplicity, I decided to just settle on non-binary, although I definitely really want to be much more feminine than I am right now, like almost like androgynous. But due to my current situation, I'm unable to transition, because I still live with my parents. I tried to transition secretly while still living with my parents, but they started noticing that I was looking more feminine, and that I obviously had my long hair back then, and they were pressuring me to cut it all the time. And even when I was growing it out, they were constantly pressuring me to not grow it out, and now they are pressuring me to not grow it out again. I'm really unable to transition, and there's no really way out of this situation for me, because I can't get a job. I've tried to, but I just can't seem to get any job. And even if I was able to get a job, I wouldn't really be able to transition in my country where I live while working that job, because people here are completely bigoted, and they will harass me, they will bully me, and they probably the employers will probably never even hire me if I actually decided to completely transition. So the only way for me to actually be who I am, who I truly am, is if I actually start being successful with YouTube and start making money off of YouTube, because I don't really have to care about what anybody thinks of me, and um, I can just be who I want to be and dress however I want and all those stuff. So with all this information and me telling you that I don't want to guilt trip you into helping me out, I don't want to make you feel bad about my situation and wanting to manipulate you into helping me out or boosting the subscribers on my channel or anything like that. I ask you if you're able to help me out by donating to my Patreon or donating to my PayPal, which is some for that you will have to get in touch with me in the comments down below to set it up properly, because I haven't really done that, because I assume nobody's really gonna want to do that. But if you're able to do that, I would really appreciate it. But again, this is literally the only way for me out. This is the only way out. So yeah, it's completely up to you. If you can't help me out monetarily, then at the very least I think it would be great if you could help out in other ways, like I said earlier, liking the channel, liking the video, subscribing to the channel, and all those other stuff. But yeah, I'm not trying to guilt trip you, I'm just explaining to you my situation and hoping that you can help me out. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, please leave a like and subscribe. Also, check out the description to my Twitter if you want to follow me there, and to my Wattpad where I post my stories, because in addition to doing all these videos on my channel, I'm also a writer. And if you don't enjoy my stories or you simply enjoy my videos, you can head over to Patreon where you can pledge your support and help get the channel going, help support me so I can keep writing the stories you enjoy. But if you don't want to do it, that's completely fine. You can still help me out in other ways, like liking this video, subscribing to the channel, and especially sharing this video with somebody who you think might enjoy it. And I think it's pretty much it for this video, so hopefully I'm gonna see you in the next one. Bye!